came to power.
Who is the bigger threat for the Congress, the BJP or the Aam Aadmi Party?
No, Aam Aadmi Party is, I think, a real threat to our system. Okay? They want to destroy the system. They are anarchists. They want to destroy the system, right? They are either anarchists by choice or they are anarchists by ignorance. But they are anarchists and they want to destroy the system. I hope there are some sensible people there who will turn the anarchist party into a sensible, reasonable party. I hope.
You've propped up the same party, thanks to which they formed the government in Delhi. How long do you think this is going to last?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I had no choice. It was a difficult...
You're calling them a party of anarchists, but you've propped them up in Delhi. So how long do you think this arrangement can last?
There is an unfortunate squeeze for us. We have a problem with communalism. We have no problem with corruption. We want to put an end to corruption and we want to put an end to communalism, right?
Well, you're saying you have a problem with communalism. Some are saying maybe the Congress would be happy to see the Aam Aadmi Party denting the BJP's vote.
See, I don't get into denting this, denting that. This calculus that some politicians are fond of doing. I just think that we have a good case to present to the country. I think we've done a good job. Now, if the country for some reason feels that we haven't done a good enough job, it's for the country to decide. But let us first advocate our cause to the country. Let us show to the country that we've done something good. A lot of good has happened in this country. But if the media channels don't want to show it, if you don't want to ask me questions, you've not asked me a single question about power, you've not asked me a single question about entitlements, you've not asked me a single question about the paradigm shift that's taking place now.
Our job is to ask tough questions and not convenient ones.
These are not convenient questions. These are not convenient questions. I think to ask a question on nuclear power is not a convenient question. It's a tough question because we haven't yet got a deal on curriculum 3 and 4. We haven't yet signed on 1, 2, 3 agreement. We have, and if we don't get this, there is no future for India if we don't have enough power.
Right, but sir, if I could, and I apologize, but I have to ask you these questions. If I could bring you back to the Aam Aadmi Party for a bit. You've been very critical of them. You've called them anarchists. A senior minister in your government from your party, Mr. Jairam Ramesh, recently said, if the Congress does not learn from the Aam Aadmi Party, it may become history.
Well, see, Jairam Ramesh is saying such things to me as well about myself. And he says, he calls me all kinds of names. And he says, if you don't listen, if you don't understand this, you're finished, etc. Jairam is a person with an extremely active mind. He has a very forceful turn of phrase, extremely active mind. He's always looking at a different angle from all of us. He never takes the beaten path. He's always trying out something. And of course, these things are often said when we are within closed doors, but at times
is the party taking that view seriously?
Or what view seriously?
Are you saying we don't take it seriously? What he said recently, he's a senior minister. He says, if you don't take lessons from AAP, you will be history.
No. But
so what am I to understand?
What do you mean by lessons from AAP and history?
Well, Mr. Ramesh has said this, not me.
What lessons do we have to take from AAP? What lessons have we taken from AAP that we wear disheveled clothes?
Would you say you disagree with your colleague then? Your cabinet colleague?
If I had agreed, I would be sitting with him. He has, as I said, an active mind. He says things, and we debate and we discuss and we disagree. But everything that he says is not necessarily something that I would agree with. But at the same time, because he said something, I should immediately say he's wrong. Is not my style of politics. I think that there are some very active minds in our party. They say things, sometimes they say things that sound inconvenient, sometimes they say things that are a little bit futuristic, sometimes they say things that make us sit up and think, etc. But to simply say that's his personal view, I find this absurd. Whenever somebody says something, it has to be a personal view. But that personal view may or may not get aligned with a larger view, which you might call the formal or the official party view. So I don't think that we should get into a sterile debate about why did Jairam say this. He may have some experience, he may have some insights, he may have done some analysis. I have not said it, and I'm not going to say it because I really think that we have a very special danger from the kind of anarchism that's being preached by the Aam Aadmi Party, and they will get discovered really before you know how time flies. they will get discovered.
Very interesting you say that, because whether you like it or not, you are in a sense their partners in Delhi. But how do you look
I wish
at...
they would acknowledge this.
Well, they don't.
I
That's
wish they
true.
would acknowledge
They
it. So if they don't acknowledge it, then we don't need to worry about being partners, because they don't acknowledge it.
Right. But how do you look at their Delhi experiment, as it were? Rolling back FDI. Are you worried that it would send out a negative message to investors?
Of course it would.
Or some of their other measures,
Of course it
no
would.
VIP culture,
let me tell
or
you.
encouraging sting
Let me
operations
tell
to
you.
catch
VIP
bribe seekers. How do you look at all
I
of
have
this?
no problem. I have no problem with not having VIP culture. I have no problem at all. Why should we have? Mrs. Sonia Gandhi has always told us, less ostentation, don't have large parties, don't show off, don't live a life that you shouldn't be living, etc. We've always been told, shed all discretion in functions and so on, and the way you function as a minister.
You think it's nothing new?
No. So it is nothing new. Preaching some... Look, we're a party that's come from Mahatma Gandhi's thoughts. Is he going to teach us what austerity is? Is he going to teach us what simplicity is?
But maybe it's not been practiced by other parties.
It may not be practiced because...
Maybe it's been preached.
Because things changed. There could be a party tomorrow that instead of having a broom, could have a Hoover. Because they believe that modern technology to clean up is a more suitable technology. I don't think that this party, Aam Aadmi Party, has a serious ideology. Now, the broom is an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing. But really, in this day and age, for anyone to advocate the broom is like somebody advocating the bullock cart. When the tractors have come, when two-wheelers are selling like hotcakes.
Their ideas are anachronistic? Are you also
I've already said that. I've said that. They're Jurassic. They smell of anarchy. They are destructive. Now, you see, in a Marxist revolution, what they try to do first is to destroy whatever there is of the feudal system. They destroy by killing, by marauding, by just driving everything into the dust. But a Marxist system, you may agree or you may disagree, has an alternative way of working and functioning. All right? These guys have no alternative way of functioning. They just demean everything that has been time tested. They ridicule anything. They question and defame anything. And then they run away from the crowds when they find that they can't handle the crowds. They go up to the rooftops and they start screaming from rooftops. Is this the way government is done? Are we sort of ingenious in discovering a style of government that the world has not discovered? Even the Arab Spring is not discovered. Even the Russian Revolution is not discovered. Even the Industrial Revolution.
And you're not perturbed to see the kind of popular support they seem to be garnering, the number of people who are joining the party every day, the kind of people, you have corporates, people from all walks of life joining them.
Do you remember the crowds that came at the time of Babri Masjid demolition? Do you remember that?
Are you comparing the two?
No,
Are you
do you remember
comparing the two?
Do you remember that? Do you remember the crowds that came out when riots took place in Jabalpur and Bombay?
But are you seriously
No,
comparing
I'm just saying that
the support the Aam Aadmi Party is getting to those situations?
I'm just saying human beings get carried away with ideas that cannot be sustained over a long period. People do get carried away. I think that there are young people who are being pulled into all kinds of unwholesome activities because somebody is selling them a dream, somebody is selling them a great idea.
And you think it's a bubble that's going to burst?
Of course it's a bubble that will burst. I think it's a very, very dirty bubble that will burst. I'm absolutely convinced. And if it doesn't burst, I will make sure I'm there with enough pins to ensure that the bubble bursts.
You will be there to ensure that. All right, let's move away from the Aam Aadmi Party. Arun Jaitley said the other day, looking at the UPA ministers, it seems like they've already given up the will to fight.
Does that look like I have? I mean, I've just been talking to you.
Not for me to say that, but Mr. Jaitley seems to think that the ministers look so demoralized. They're already, he says, bracing for life post-May 2014.
And is that how he's lived the last 10 years? I mean, they've fought so many elections and lost them. And is that the way they've lived? I mean, you look sober. If things are looking very good for you, you should not get arrogant. You should remain sober. If things are looking dismal for you or bad for you, you should again not panic, and you not get depressed, but you should be sober. If you are sober when everybody is indulging in a cacophony of wild allegations, if you are sober to say that you are sober, if you're not sober and you say, look at that guy, he's so arrogant, despite all this he's being arrogant. We are determined to fight. On the 17th you will see. On the 17th you will see how the clarion call to our workers go out for us to be determined to fight. We will fight. We will fight to the last man standing. We will fight to the last woman standing. We will fight, and we will fight to win. We believe that the destiny of this country will not be safe in the hands of the forces that are today vying to become an alternative to the Congress.
All right. So one final question about the elections. Opinion polls seem to be quite adverse for the Congress party. The editorials that are being written every day in newspapers don't seem to be encouraging as far as the Congress party is concerned. The severe drubbing in recent assembly elections. Despite that, are you still optimistic about the party's prospects?
Of course I am. Of course I am. I am optimistic for this reason, that I am wedded to the idea of India that the Congress party has conceived and that it has committed itself to. I have no choice. I have no choice. I am here to ensure that we win. But if we don't win, it doesn't mean that for me it's the end of the world. We've lost before and we've won before. We've lost in a very dramatic fashion, and within 18 months we've come back and we've ruled again. We've ruled again. Of course, in a democracy, there are circles of up and down, etc. that happens. But I don't think that we deserve today the kind of criticism that's been thrown at us. I think it's unfair. I think there's a free-for-all that's going on. And you will find that by the time we are actually in the hustings, that a lot of the predictions that are being made, those people will be sitting with a lot of egg on their face if they're not vegetarians.